much darker before the light of the dawn will spring forth. It takes the multiplication of pain to produce life on earth. Before a woman will bring a new life on earth, there's going to be joint forces, as if all the labor pain gathered together in a moment. And as soon as that happens, life will soon land on earth. Why must it be at this point that the master will be made to drink vinegar? And as soon as he tasted that, he looked to the entire universe and he says, the work is done. Redemption is finished. Victory is won. Jesus came to redeem. He came to restore humanity back to where they belong. And with this topic, I want to announce to all who care to hear my voice today all over the earth, it is finished. Dominion of the dark world is totally taken away from them. It is finished for all the agents that the devil plant in the church. It is finished for all the wicked people in the government, milking the government. It is finished for all the kidnappers and all the terrorists and bandits. It is finished for wickedness on earth. It's either you clear the way or you lose your life. We are right in the new order, new era. I didn't know that scientists are also following it up. I told us here, was it yesterday on Friday, that during the break I just opened the net and I saw, according to scientists, what is going to take place on earth on April 8th. It says the earth will enter a particular line. The sun of the light will not shine, the sun of the moon will not shine on earth for 3 days. And after the 3 days, the earth will enter what they called golden era. I screamed. In that golden era, as they call it, new era, as heaven call it, wickedness will no longer be tolerated. Occultism will no longer be tolerated. Agents of demons on the altar as preachers will no longer be accepted. Those working for marine spirit and witchcraft will no longer be accepted. Either as a preacher, either as preachers or as workers, leaders in the church. They will no longer be accepted. Why? The voice of redemption, they silenced before, is speaking loudest on earth today. And by the voice of that blood, situation will no longer be as it was. Jesus was able to finish the assignment that his father handed over to him. What was that assignment? Crush the devil. Crush demons. Make an utter end of them. Return humanity back to where they belong. Take sickness out of the way. Destroy death. Close the mouth of grave. Let them not speak or able to carry the wickedness again. And in such a little time of 3 years and 6 months, Jesus finished this work. He poured out himself for the world to be saved. Jesus was like a candle that burned out so that the world might see through him. He was like a river that flowed out its water so that the world might be refreshed through him. On his last day on this earth, while he was still hanging on the cross, on that cruel day of the world against him, but victorious day to heaven, against the dark world, he was able to make this historical statement: it is finished. This is one of the words in the scripture that the devil never want to hear. The demon never want to hear. Because in this world lie all the victory that redemption produced for humanity. Why we are where we are today is because we have been able to enter this world and take everything hidden in the world. Actually, I'm speaking to you this morning on what I title Finishing on Top. Finishing on top. That's where believers belong. Believers do not have anything to do with the valley. You may not understand, but John chapter 40 will tell you that John the Baptist came preparing the ground for Jesus. What was his message? Fill the valley, level the mountain, straighten the crooked paths, so that the glory will be revealed. But today, denominations, preachers, not being able to understand what is written concerning them, believers are hiding inside the valley to escape the onslaught, demons and devils. Brothers and sisters, Jesus indeed is the author and the finisher of our faith. He went, he saw, he fought, he conquered. And because of the victory he won, he has given humanity power to dominate the earth, which was their right from the beginning. When Jesus made that historical statement, it was as if he was saying to his Father, I owe no man anything. To him, he was telling humanity, I have paid the price for you to rise from the valley where the demons and devil has dumped you and to climb the mountain top. We're telling humanity there is no reason for you to remain and live in defeat. We're telling humanity with a soldier voice, rise up and take your place. When he made that statement before his Father, it was as if he was telling his Father, I've done the work, I've given humanity what you gave them to give unto them. There's no reason for demons and devils to trap them down anymore. It was as if he was saying to humanity, I kept back nothing that will profit you. He told them, when he was making that statement, the gate of heaven is now open for you. You can now enter freely. The way back to the Father is open unto you. I am the way, the truth, and the life. He was telling them by that statement, you can now come with boldness for reconciliation with the Father. The supreme prize was confirmed to be paid by that statement, it is finished. Receipt was issued unto him. He was telling humanity, you can now be free without going to the river, to the mountain, to the junction, without traveling to any occultic nation of the earth, and be free. And it surprises me that with this, people that claim to be Christians, that's what they call themselves, not believers, Christians, they still go to ocean, river, sea, and stagnant water for their freedom. They still bath with soap. They still bath, rub all this incense on their body and all that. But we don't need them again. Reconciliation is now free, without any sacrifice to be made, neither with pigeon, nor with goat, nor with any other animal, because sacrifice himself that satisfied the Father has poured himself on the cross. Jesus was saying, I fought with man's greatest enemy, Lucifer, and I've overcome them. Therefore, you can now celebrate the victory that redemption has purchased for you. The price for righteousness is paid. The man can now be righteous day after day. That it is possible to live without sin. Don't mind the jargon you hear online. Somebody was preaching and sweating. I saw him last week sweating that sin cannot take somebody to hell. I said, wow. He said, because Jesus paid for sin, therefore because he paid for sin, sin cannot take somebody to hell. I said, this is the agents of Lucifer with suits on the altar. And such church we have larger congregation, because that is what men want. They don't want to go to a place where their conscience will prick them by telling them that all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. That statement was written after Jesus' death on the cross. That statement was written, the wages of sin is death, after Jesus' death on the cross. He that committed sin is of the devil, and for this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. That statement was written after Calvary. And a preacher is telling people, and congregation were bold to hail him, Daddy, ride on, that sin will not take any man to hell. Anybody that see that man or hearing me should tell that man that he is an agent of Lucifer. It's only Lucifer that we preach that sin will not take man to hell. It was only one sin that was not visible that took Lucifer out from heaven. Sin of pride. He conceived it in his heart. He had not acted it out. He lost his original habitation with God, and he was cast down, and today he has lost his name, that beautiful name, Lucifer. His name now is devil, serpent, dragon, and all kind of nonsense that he carries today. And a preacher that is serving him is telling people that sin will not take them to hell. Whoever that cares to hear from me, Jesus says, whoever that committed sin is of the devil. Because devil sinned from beginning, and where devil end his life is where a sinner will end his life. All sinners will have their portion at the lake that burneth with fire and brimstone. And as many that their names are not written in the book of life will be cast into the lake of fire. I wonder where some preachers gain their topic from. Revelation chapter 21 verse 8. If why I'm reading this is, if anybody that will tell that man should give him the word, but the fearful and unbelieving and abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. This is here before that man came from Satan to stand on the altar. And he is telling people that sin will not take a man to hell. It was about 60 years after Jesus' ascension to heaven before Revelation book was given to humanity. And the person that penned the Revelation down was one of the three pillars in the Jesus ministry, John the Beloved. And he's one that said this. If you read the books of John, you will see how he hit sin. Read his gospel, the gospel, read his revelation, read the epistle he wrote. You will see how strong he was against sin. Sin will damn you. Sin will deform you. Sin will separate you from Jesus. Because how can somebody tell you that sin will not take a man to hell, and sin took Jesus to Calvary to bear all the full wrath of God against sin upon man? Except your righteousness exceed the righteousness of the scribe and Pharisees, you shall by no means enter the kingdom of God. Who preached that message? Jesus Christ himself. So the price for righteousness is paid. Whoever, a preacher, a leader, a senior pastor, or whatever title you call yourself, if you cannot live righteous, do not tell your congregation that righteousness is not possible. Stop telling your congregation that nobody can go to hell, that sin cannot take anybody to hell. Some of these people that are doing this sin are people that sin have overcome. They are servants to sin, slaves to sin, and because they cannot overcome sin, they now think it is that way for everyone, and they now generalize it that nobody can be free from sin. No, sir. No, ma. By personal experience, I know it is possible for a man to live without sin in this sinful and adulterous generation. Am I communicating? The exact righteousness that was lost at the garden was the righteousness that Jesus restored back to man at Calvary. Jesus said, "It is finished," because he did what he's supposed to do at the right time. And that is why we must, all of us, do what we are supposed to do. If you have not embraced Calvary, do that now. If you have not opened your